coming to you live, well, not live, but on video, from the Fuchs Audio Technology booth, and we're here with
Andy Fuchs. How's it going, Doug?
Very well. How you doing, Andy? Great to see you.
We're having a great show, and I'm doing terrific.
So you have the crown jewel. Tell us this baby. It's close to your heart.
Well, this is the ODS-II. We've been making our Overdrive Supreme for almost 15 years, and over that time, we've gotten a lot of feedback from customers as far as ideas and suggestions, and not only that, but my own tonal quest for my own personal amps, ideas I've collected, and it was time to come out with a new ODS that embodied all these ideas, which is basically two separate channels, each with its own separate EQ section, input gain, output master volume, tons of cool things like a gain boost that keeps your tone controls working, a tone stack bypass, which you can use with or without the gain boost, a mid boost that has two frequencies, a brite switch that has two frequencies, an EQ switch that has two different EQ curves, and the tone stack bypass built in. Channel 1 is a clean channel that can be driven slightly dirty. Channel 2 is an over-the-top gain channel, very much like the original ODS with a few refinements. It has a killer 16-bit digital reverb in it, 2 effects loops, a global master volume and presence control, and will be available in 50 and 100 watt versions, in heads or combos.
And is there a particular speaker that you like to match with it in combos? Or do you let people choose, or do you have a suggested preference and then they can choose as well?
Our standard speaker for quite some time has been the ET-1265 by Warehouse Sound. We really like it. It sounds great dirty, it sounds great clean, it takes a hell of a lot of power and doesn't break up. And the good thing is they're consistent. Every one I get sounds the same, and not every manufacturer has that advantage. So I like them.
So one of the things, in case you haven't heard Andy play guitar, is he plays the pants out of the guitar, or off the guitar, or something. But the point being is that as a player, how much of what you do you design the circuit and then play it and hear it and tweak it, or do you play and then go, oh, I need to do this in the circuit? Is there a direction that you move as you're defining the amps, or does it go in kind of both directions? It depends on where you're at.
Well, I start out with a starting point of what I think I want. I make the analogy, it's almost like cooking. Maybe I need more garlic and less salt. I do that with the amplifiers, and more often than not, I design with a guitar in my lap and a soldering iron and a box of parts, more so than I do with test equipment and scopes. I mean, when an amp is done, of course, you want to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do, and it looks good on a scope and it measures right on test equipment. But the real fact of the matter is an amp can measure spectacular and play like crap. So to me, the most important factor is sometimes an amp from an audiophile or recording standpoint might not measure perfect, but it feels right and it sounds right. And you know what? That's all that matters, more so than the numbers. Well, this amplifier basically, like I said, it embodies about 15 years of customer suggestions, my aspirations to taking our original platform as far as it could go as in today's world. And what we basically come up with is an offshoot of the original ODS, which is behind me. It's a 2-channel amp that shares a tone stack. There's certain common items that you're kind of locked into together. What we've done with the ODS-II is we've broken those apart. We've given you a dedicated clean channel with its own tone controls, its own EQ switches, its own master volume, a second higher gain channel that does all the overdrive with all those same features, and a global master for the whole amp. A killer 16-bit digital reverb designed by someone who worked for Alesis in the day. It sounds wonderful because reverb pans are not what they used to be. They're not consistent. They can break. They don't sound great from one pan to another. This gives you consistency, and it's a quality reverb. The amp has 2 effects loops, a series parallel pedal or line level, a secondary series only loop for line level devices where you can put an EQ, a gain boost, a volume pedal into that extra loop. It also has built-in bias measurement and bias adjustments on the back panel. There's a digital meter back there, accurate to 1/10 of a volt, that allows you to set all the power tubes optimally if your line voltage changes, if your tubes are getting a little bit older, or you want to go from 6L6s to EL34s, hop in, rebias it. You want to run them cold because you like them bright, you want to run them warm because you like them funky. You have that power as a player. You know, computer biasing is cool, LEDs are cool, bias test sets are kind of cool. This throws them all in the garbage and lets you take control. Because you know what? I don't want a computer making my decisions in terms of biasing. It's like setting the air pressure in your car. You want them all to be the right way.
Awesome.
I'll give you a little touch of the clean channel. This is straight. Kicking the brite switch a little bit here. If I drop my master, I raise my gain, I bypass my tone stack, and I turn on my gain boost. So now my clean channel is a little bit funky for your ZZ Top, and you want to have a... So that same channel that's doing my surfy Fendery cleans can also do a little bit of snarliness if I dial it up that way. I'm going to jump over to channel 2. Let me put channel 1 back where it belonged. We're going to go over to the drive channel. This is a medium to low drive. Kind of picks up where the first channel leaves off. If I throw a boost on top of it, and if I put a tone stack bypass on top of that and get a little silly, I'll throw a brite switch for some snarl. Got a little bit of sustain happening there. And that's kind of the low end of the drive spectrum, and if I really want to get silly, that's basically what the ODS does in a nutshell. And this will be shipping by summer of 2015, probably around May or June. And check us out at FuchsAudioTechnology.com. And thank you, Doug. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you, Andy. Always a pleasure.